The Day of the Dead, El Dia de los Muertos, a bilingual celebration. Written and illustrated by Bob Barner, translated by Teresa Mlauer. We celebrate our ancestors on the Day of the Dead. El Dia de los Muertos, honramos a los antepasados. With offerings of flowers, sugar skulls, and bread. Con ofrendas de flores, calaveras de azúcar, y pan horneado. We make tacos, empanadas, mole, and treats. Hacemos tacos, empanadas, mole, y platos deliciosos. Smell incense that burns smoky and sweet. Quemamos incienso con ese olor maravilloso. Before we go out, everything must be done. Hay que tener todo listo antes de la partida. Pack up our bundles before the setting sun. Y empacar bien las cosas mientras hay luz del día. Under the twinkling stars and the moon glowing bright, bajo estrellas que brillan y una luna muy clara, light the candles that flicker with soft yellow light. Encendemos las velas amarillas y blancas. Mark a path for the spirits with the petals of flowers. El camino a los espíritus indicamos con pétalos de flores que cortamos. We dance, sing, bailamos y cantamos, and remember the loved ones for hours. Y durante varias horas a nuestros seres queridos recordamos. Celebrate our ancestors on the Day of the Dead. Honremos a los antepasados en el Día de los Muertos. We smell the sweet flowers as we lie down for bed. Y cuando a dormir nos retiramos, el dulce olor de las flores aspiramos. About Dia de los Muertos. Millions of people from Mexico and parts of Central and South America observe one of Latin America's most popular holidays called El Dia de los Muertos in Spanish and the Day of the Dead in English. It is a special time for remembering loved ones who are no longer living and is celebrated every year from October 31st until November 2nd. People prepare for the holiday by baking or buying special foods. Pan de muertos, or bread of the dead, is a sweet bread baked only for this special holiday. It has a tiny skeleton doll baked inside. The person lucky enough to get the little skeleton in his or her piece of bread can make a wish that will come true. Sugar skulls, or calaveras de azúcar, come decorated in bright colors. They can be eaten at the end of the celebration. People also gather the favorite foods of their deceased loved ones. Tamales are a popular treat at these celebrations. They are cornmeal cakes filled with meat, wrapped in a corn husk, and steamed before eating. Altars for the departed decorate with cempasúchil, or marigolds, and candles are displayed in homes and schools. Sweet-smelling incense is burned to attract the spirits of the departed. On the night of November 2nd, families go to the cemetery. They spread the petals of marigold flowers, burn incense, and light candles to welcome the spirits to the celebration. Then they dance, sing, have a picnic, and share memories of their loved ones. The end. El fin.
Sugar skulls, a traditional Mexican icon to help celebrate the Day of the Dead or Dia de los Muertos. For supplies, you will need plain paper, pencil with an eraser, a juicy black Sharpie or marker, and some coloring supplies. Holding your paper in the vertical fashion, line up the long sides of the paper and fold it in half. Give it a zip. Then, without unfolding this, line up the new short ends of your paper and fold in half again. You're next going to unfold just this last maneuver. We'll use that last fold that we just made as a guideline for proportions. With the folded side on the left, use your pencil. I'm using a Sharpie just so you can see it better, but with your pencil, make a dot at the fold at the top of the paper. Make sure it's on the folded side. Then, about 2 fingers in from the outside, make another dot on that guideline that we just made. Last, make a dot on the fold at the bottom of the paper. Starting at that top dot, ghost draw a few times the top of the skull, making a curved line from the top out to the edge of the paper and then back into that dot that we made on the folded guideline. Then you're going to ghost draw a few times the bottom of the jaw. You start from that dot in the middle of the page, go straight down to the bottom of the page, and then curve into the bottom dot on the fold. Let's draw the eye. In the top quadrant, let's practice a few times making a circle, about 2 or 3 fingers wide. You're lucky because using a pencil you can draw light until it's right. Then in the bottom quadrant, we're going to do half of a smile. So start at the fold line and give a little smile. And then smack dab in the middle, we're going to make a fish hook line or half an upside down heart line, however you call it. Now is the time to decorate your sugar skull with traditional Mexican designs for Dia de los Muertos. Now keep your artwork folded. Repetition is common in this design. The bright colors and scents of marigolds are used on this holiday to guide the dearly departed back to their family for a celebration. So you should have at least 1 marigold. I like to start with the marigold petals around the eye, but you can design any way you'd like. Now I'm only designing half of this sugar skull because we are next going to talk about linear symmetry. But first, we get to design. So feel free to use my ideas, or you can come up with ideas of your own. Now, when I open this up, I have just half a design, just like things we find in nature, like butterflies, faces, pine cones, flowers. We're going to have an artwork that has linear symmetry. So this fold right down the middle is my line of symmetry. So the left half will be a mirror image to the right. But Mrs. Lapham, how do we do that? You might be thinking. Well, let me explain. So if you have been using pencil up to this point, you need to trace over all of your lines with Sharpie or black marker. And then, using a window, I like to call it a poor man's light box, flip your paper over and see the lines showing through from the other side? Trace them, all of them, as neatly as you can. And when you're done, open it up and you should have a near perfect symmetrical piece of artwork. Once your artwork is opened back up, you might notice a few places where it doesn't quite match up from the other side. So just take a moment to connect all those little pieces. Now I'm leaving the eyes black for a reason. Did you know the date of Dia de los Muertos coincides with the annual return of the monarch butterfly to Mexico? In ancient times, the Aztecs couldn't explain migration. So they created the idea that the butterflies return were their dearly departed relatives flying home to participate in their annual celebrations. empty and decorated sugar skulls are left out on the altar of the party, so their relatives, as butterflies, can fly inside and watch through the sugar skull's eyes. Now that our outline is done, you can neatly color in, making sure to keep it symmetrical, so the left side is a mirror image to the right side. And there we have it, a completed Day of the Dead sugar skull. I can't wait to see what you come up with.